Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Private KJ back here with another video. Today I'm talking about the NBA, of course, because what else is there to do other than talk about the NBA? I don't know, my life's pretty boring. But this is the 1/15/21 games, or basically yesterday's games, if you guys need to be caught up. Right now, we missed a couple games, like the Knicks and Cats and the Kings and Clippers, but we're going to talk about the Celtics and the Magic, the Mavericks, the Celtics and Magic, the Mavericks and Bucks, the Thunder and the Bulls, the Jazz and the Hawks, and the Lakers and the Pelicans. So if you guys are prepared, let's get this going. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you guys never miss a beat. All right, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. I know it's a little, but we're working our way up to the top, okay? Just a quick message. I will be gone from March 31st to June 16th because that's when I leave for boot camp. I will be letting you guys know my videos, so you guys make sure you subscribe now, because when I get back, we're going to be uploading just as much as I'm going to now, daily. I'm just going to be gone doing my boot camp because I'm in the military. But enough with that said. Ladies, gentlemen, ballers, let's get this going. All right, and first up, we got the Celtics versus the Magic. And my take was, and I'm pretty sure if anybody who even watched the NBA, you don't have to be an NBA diehard fan to know this, but the Mavericks, the Magic, are just so average, bro. Like, can they please just decide to tank or be good? Like, I think they should obviously go and tank, but man, they are just so average. Right now, they're on like a 4-game losing streak, if I'm correct. And they capped it off with just another loss to the Celtics. Taco Fall did hit a 3 though, so that is pretty tough. Taco Fall did hit a 3, but yes, the Magic looks so average. Let's talk about Peyton Pritchard. That boy tough. I mean, he is going to be a very good player for them in the future. He's looking like a very good steal in that draft. He's just a solid overall player, and he is very self-aware of what's going on around him. He understands the game. Basically all I need to say is he's just a steal in that draft. The defense is looking better from this game. The Celtics started off the year poorly defensively. I'm not sure what was up with that, but they are looking to look a little better. And Jason Tatum didn't play. Let's keep that in mind. Typically, Coach Stevens, their defenses are typically better than what they have been so far this year. Jaylen Brown's doing a great job leading the Celtics team, even without Jason Tatum. Jeff Teague has been a quietly underrated pickup. Nothing special or anything, but just a good, solid backup point guard. He still can play, still can handle the playmaking responsibilities from the backup position. The Peyton Pritchard and Jeff Teague lineup was very effective against the Magic. Now, I want to see that against an elite team like that. Maybe the numbers don't back me up against as much as, but what I saw is those two on the floor with Jaylen Brown at small forward, that was very effective against the Magic. Also, why does Dwayne Bacon start for the Orlando Magic at small forward? Why? He's so bad. I'm sorry if you watch this, Dwayne Bacon, but yeah, I don't know why he starts. He's just there. I remember watching and I'm just thinking, can this guy do something? He's not that great on defense. For his size, he definitely could be, at least. He's slow-footed, so he's not exactly great at guarding, guards on the perimeter. He's not big enough to guard any big men, obviously. He can't really shoot. He really can't do anything. I'm watching him miss layups. I'm like, bro, can you do something? You're out there, impact the game. Do something. I don't know. That meme was do something. Nah, I don't know. It was weird, but anyways, yeah. I'm just thinking to myself, why does this man start? He's just really not that good. And Cole Anthony was just getting cooked out there, and he looks lost a lot of times. Now, he is a rookie. We're going to be patient on him. He hasn't been that impressive even with the starting now. I think Michael Carter-Williams should start, only because I just don't think Cole Anthony's quite ready yet for that role. But the Magic have just thrust him in there, and honestly, at the end of the day, does it really matter? Are the Magic even going to be good enough to where it matters? So that's my take on it, but I think Cole Anthony should not start right now, but at the same time, I don't blame them for starting him. He just looks lost out there. Defensively, he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Offensively, he's just not hitting shots. Hopefully he'll turn that around, though, because I do like him a lot. I do think he has some promise moving forward. So next up, we got the Mavericks and the Bucks. The Bucks should have won by more than, I think. because I really don't think the Mavericks played all that well. I think the Bucks outplayed them, but there were a lot of factors on why it was closer than it should have. One, I will give the Mavericks credit. They kept grinding it out, even if it wasn't their best performance. They stuck in there, and they almost came out on top. Bobby Portis, though, for the Bucks, oh my, what a day! Like, he had like 13 rebounds. He's just crashing off into the glass. Plays in their system, can space the floor. Bobby Portis is a great pickup for that team to back up Brook Lopez. And the Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis lineups were looking fine. Like, it looked like it'll be okay. Maybe against a team that has more versatile big men, it might not work out as well. But also because Kristaps has been hurt, he's only second game back, so I'm not going to really talk much about that. But the one thing that we need to talk about, Giannis shot 1 for 10 from the free throw line. That's unacceptable from anyone. 1 for 10, 10%. Come on, Giannis, you can't be doing that. But what I will say is, are we surprised? Because free throws is going to cost them when it comes to playoff time. You can get away with that in regular season, but we tend to see that the Milwaukee Bucks have trouble during the playoffs. And Giannis has to find a way to turn that around. Shooting sub 60 is not acceptable from your best player. As an overall team, they shot 12 for 25, which was unacceptable, like I said. But the Mavs shot 47% from the free throw line either. So it's not like they were hitting their free throws either, which is why I think they actually ended up losing. If the Mavs had made some free throws, if one of the teams had made free throws, it would have been a completely different game, at least for a little bit. There's other factors, obviously, on why the game went as it did, but free throws was a huge thing. And Coach Bud, everyone knows just his rotations, his subbing. That's just one factor of Coach Bud's flaws as a coach. But Budenholzer, it's just frustrating because I remember seeing it was like 2:30 left in the game, and Dante DiVincenzo was just sitting on the bench for Pat Connaughton. And Pat Connaughton's like a fine, solid role player. Like, he's not bad or anything. But at the end of the game, in a close game, you put your best five on the floor no matter what. That's what you do. You roll with your best horses. And I remember I'm just seeing Dante DiVincenzo out for about like 3 to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like, it was like from like 6:50 to like 2:30, and Dante's just not on the floor. And I'm thinking, well, why is that? Dante should be on the floor. So he needs to stop getting cute with his rotation. Just play his best horses. Ride out the horses. Because that is a huge problem. He's had rotation issues as a coach, I think. But anyways, let's move on to the Mavericks. They're ranked second on defense, which I don't think a lot of people actually know. They've been quietly like an elite defense. Now, let's see if they can sustain that. With Porzingis coming back, I like their chances. But I don't think anyone really thought that they were going to be this good defensively. They added the new pieces. They still have Kleber, who's been hurt, Josh Richardson, James Johnson, who's been pretty solid for them. He's just a quality 3-and-D forward. Porzingis back, like, that's going to help a lot. And Luka, for as much as people want to get on him on defense, he actually hasn't been as bad as what the critics might say he is on defense. I'm not saying he's a elite defender by any stretch of the imagination, but he's been better than he was last year. I'll say that. But yeah, this game was just sloppy on both ends, like both teams shooting horrible at the free throw line. But when it came down to it, the Bucks hit their shots. Chris Middleton played an amazing game, and the Mavs just simply couldn't. For what it's worth, though, last shot didn't go to Luka Doncic. That needs to change. Obviously, it's going to change. But I was surprised to see Porzingis pull like 3 feet from behind the arc and not get a timeout called so Luka can get the ball back. But anyways, let's move on to the Thunder and the Bulls. So I want to talk about the Thunder first and then the Bulls. Because I want to say the Bulls for last because I kind of hope, man, if Kenny or Rusty Buckets ever see this video, that would be hilarious. I know they're mad about their Bulls. Oh my gosh, what a collapse. That is just unacceptable. But shout out to the Thunder, man. A lot of teams that are in their situation where they're like rebuilding, but really are the Thunder rebuilding? Like, they're just competitive. They like to win. They would just throw the towel in and say, all right, let's go to the next game. Down 20, like, forget about it. We'll go to the next game. Nah, they gave it their all, and they pulled out the win. I remember they were down 10 with a minute 30, if I'm not mistaken, and they pulled out the win, which is very impressive. And that was without Al Horford, too, which makes it all the more impressive. Early, though, what plagued them was shots weren't falling for the Thunder, and it was the lack of pace on offense. They just weren't moving up and down the floor. And it was demoralizing to see when Zach LaVine or Kobe White was hitting these tough shots, and shots weren't falling for the Thunder. But um, the Bulls just kind of were throwing hella scary passes and just way too many bad turnovers that just shouldn't be happening. For what it's worth, though, LaVine for about 2 to 3 minutes just didn't touch the ball offensively. I remember this. It's like before halftime, and all of a sudden he gets the ball two possessions in a row and just hits these like tough off dribble or step back threes on Lou Dort. And Lou Dort is a great defender. And I was like, wow, Zach LaVine is going to be great. Hopefully makes an all-star team, but if he keeps his playmaking and his defense need to get better, but I think everyone already knows that. But hopefully that man makes an all-star team. I'm hoping for him. I really like Zach LaVine. Garrett Temple was a very underrated signing for the Bulls as well. I think he's been very impactful for that team. I get that they haven't been as hot lately, but I think that signing was great. But anyways, let's get back to the Thunder like I said. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I might have butchered that name a little bit, but Shai. I got a close friend who's a Thunder fan, and man, I wager that the Wizards would be better than the Thunder, and boy, do I look stupid right now. The Wizards, well, let me say this. The Wizards have no reason why they shouldn't be better than the Thunder, but because it's the Wizards, I mean, anyways, we're not going to go there. Shai is nice. He's a crafty finisher, plays great defense. Lou Dort, amazing defender, 3-and-D player, and he's been hitting his threes. He's shooting like above 40% from three. That should not go down the drain. Someone needs to be talking about that. Lou Dort is shooting 40% from three. If that man is consistently shooting with that defense, oh my lord, he can be so good. He can be so good as a defender and as a 3D player. He might be able to. I think he has the potential to be the third best player on the championship team, and I don't see what's wrong with that. He's very good. And at the end of the day, it basically came down to good habits versus bad habits. You practice what you preach, and maybe Jim Boylan's like effect from last year had a little bit to do with this, but the bad habits from the Chicago Bulls plagued this team versus the good habits for the Thunder helped them win. They're just poor defensive IQ. Like the Bulls are just letting Thunder players go to the rim like it was for free. Terrible passes thrown out on the perimeter, just so sloppy. Where when it came down to the clutch, the Thunder locked in. They were prepared. They were just ready to go. And the good, like I said, the good habits versus the bad habits is basically what won the game. So yeah, this is a little bit sad for Bulls players and Bulls fans, but the Bulls still have plenty of potential. I think they can make the playoffs at least, but we'll see. But yeah, the Bulls, I mean, Kobe White and Zach LaVine, that backcourt is just atrocious on defense. Something needs to change there. And at the same time, like, I've been hearing about Bulls fans saying they might want to trade. Like, is that really going to fix all that much? Like, Otto Porter's like a solid 3-and-D player. Like, he's fine. Wendell Carter, the dropping him back on pick and roll is I think he needs to step up. Billy Donovan doesn't give him enough. I think needs to give him more credit for his agileness on the perimeter. I think he can actually defend guards better than given credit for, and I think Billy Donovan needs to recognize that, because Wendell Carter is just getting cooked when he just drops back. Like, floaters, like, bro, there's so many floaters that were just going in. I'm just like, bro, like, step up, Wendell. Like, come on, like, you got to step up. But, yeah, no, it was just a collapse by the Bulls. I'm just in shock. They should not have lost that game, but then again, it's the Chicago Bulls. They always find a way to disappoint you. So, yep, let's move on to the Jazz versus the Hawks. So, the Jazz versus the Hawks. So, I'm sorry that if you wanted me to watch this game and get more things to write down or in my notes, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched most of it, but I think it was mid or like three-quarters of the way through the third, I kind of just stopped watching. The Jazz, I want to talk about first. Quinn Snyder's defensive game plan on Trae Young was perfect. He was shut down. They basically did a box him one on him where they just didn't let him touch the ball up. Like, once he got rid of the ball, they didn't let him touch him. And they did that full court, by the way. It was a great defensive plan. That was very smart by him. The Jazz came out hot in the first quarter. Like, they were sniping away. There's nothing the Hawks could have done. But the Hawks defense really wasn't that good anyways. But I'm starting to notice. Now, the Hawks have dealt with plenty of injuries. So that may be a factor. But they looked very jumbled when Trae Young wasn't involved in the offense. Like they were looking to Trae Young to basically create so much for them, and I'm thinking, do something yourself. Like set up the offense. Like what are you guys doing? And they just looked like they didn't know what to do out there when Trae Young didn't basically set up the offense or do a pick and roll or do something. It's like Trae Young needs to hold their hand basically, and I'm just thinking, come on. Cam Reddish was looking all right though, so I thought he had a fine game. But with that said, NBA fans should come together and try to create a petition to get Trae Young to play off ball. And let me explain. Imagine Trae Young playing off ball. You know what that would be? That would be a lesser version of Steph Curry. Any version of Steph Curry is going to be ridiculously good. Any version of Curry, let me repeat that. Any version of Curry will be ridiculously good. That would be so much better for the Hawks and for Trae Young's game if they're able to get him to play off ball. The Hawks could be so much better if they figure it out what they can do to incorporate that. But until then, I think their upside is capped offensively, and I think Trae Young's is as well. I will always support off-ball movement because I think it obviously makes your team better. AKA, you can just look at the Warriors. But the Jazz played amazing. I'm waiting for Bogdanovich to get out of that slump because he can be a very good third player for that team, like third shot taker for that team. Donovan Mitchell looks great though. Rudy Gobert, man, he's a freaking alien. He's just a defensive menace. Like there's nothing you can do to just. He will always find a way to rack up defensive stats. He looked great out there. John Collins, man, if he's playing for that max contract, he's got to start looking better than what he has been. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks can't figure out a trade for him. They just let him walk. He's not worth the max money. He should get paid, but max dollars, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, last but not least, we have the Lakers versus the Pelicans. So the Pelicans, really, that was just a sloppy game overall. I mean, they had 20 turnovers, and they're just throwing these terrible passes. I remember 2 possessions in a row. I think it was the third quarter. I don't remember, but what's his name? Alexander Walker. Yeah, that's his name. Alexander Walker had the ball and Schroeder's guarding him. And twice in a row, he's just like trying to throw a simple bounce pass on the perimeter. I think it was like the feed down at the high post or whatever. And Dennis Schroeder just picked him. Like, he just took the ball from him. And I'm just thinking, like, come on, you got to be strong with the ball in that. And overall, just like the Pelicans just didn't look good outside of Brandon Ingram. For like the first half, though, they were playing fine even with the turnovers. But the Lakers are too good of a team where if you don't play defense, because they were fouling way too much as well, and you turn the ball over, you're going to find a way to lose. That's just a recipe to lose. And that's exactly what happened. The Lakers finally came back. This was not a pretty game from the Lakers, but defense wins games, defense wins championships, and that's exactly what showed here. Even with a mediocre offense, or a mediocre showing on offense, I should say, the Lakers found a way to win. That's what champions do. They find ways to win. Zion on defense looks lost, but he's only played, 30 to 40 games in the NBA, so we're not going to knock Zion for not figuring out on defense. Like, it's hard, but he is a defensive, I'm not saying liability, but he just hasn't looked very good on defense. And overall, the Pelicans just can't play defense. They just foul so much. Like I said, the Lakers didn't have the prettiest game. Brandon Ingram, I remember watching and I'm thinking, damn, Brandon Ingram is cooking them. And then I look back at the box score, and he only had 20 points. I was very surprised by that. I think he needs to get more shots and start shooting more threes. Just for this game. I'm not saying overall. He's been amazing this season. But I was just like, wow, like he only had about 20 points. Like, that's surprising because I just remember him. He was just cooking like KCP. I'm like, wow, like KCP cannot guard him. Why are they letting Ingram dribble? Like, why are they not doubling him? But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I think the lack or the loss of Lonzo in the offense. Now, he was not playing this game or the last game. But when I say lack of Lonzo, I don't feel that Stan Van Gundy is using him properly. I really don't. He needs to have the ball more and facilitate the offense. Kind of like a Rondo. His impact on the game is not given enough credit for it. But Lonzo just hasn't looked that impressive this year. And it's very unfortunate because I think he's better than given credit for, obviously. His playmaking and his defense is just very valuable to teams. But The Lakers won, obviously. Schroeder, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and Kyle Kuzma stepped up big. Anthony Davis didn't have the best shooting game, but at the end of the day, if you can play defense, you're going to get a great chance to win. But that will conclude the video. Holy wow, that was 20 minutes of me talking NBA. Wow. If you guys made it to this parts, go ahead and just drop a like, man. I know I stutter a lot. Don't kill me so much. It's a habit. I stutter. So don't kill me too much. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. This is day 1 of Bradley Beal trade talk. I'm hoping he does not get traded, but I'm calling it. Day 1 of Bradley Beal trade talk. But I'll catch y'all later.